left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeters 2985 radar contact, about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes, please.
Remember, correction of Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected for 025, departure 167, spark 6 plus 465.
Plus 4658, three back is correct. Tango D Mike, taxi to the ground via echo and this frequency.
Fixing to the ramp via echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left, and we'll call you base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for right base shortly.
United 242 Jolly Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Palomar Tower, King Ever 280 Kilo, ILS 54.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 is trying to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 900 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, PX, low approach, runway 9, next week over to
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go 3 and right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 3 and right plus 465.
Palomar Tower, King Ever 280 Kilo, 280
Here's our Yankee Kilo, roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
via Alpha
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking boots.
Push 7 Charlie Alpha, and on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
November 2903 Alpha, going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed.
November 2903 Alpha, going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying public missed approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency will be 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903 Alpha.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left.
Number 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear to be active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, roger, taxi on south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta.
Riverside Tower, November 2903 Alpha,
2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land on runway 27, 03 Alpha. Riverside route, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient parking.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold short point. Stay on this frequency for now, taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Webcam. Number 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherokee 76 Charlie Mike Jolly clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be let's go Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 6 Charlie Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. And we should plan stuff.
Las Vegas Tower Plus 4658 visual on our right 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land, 1 right 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel. Remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, via hotel, ramp frequency 58 465.
Ground number 953 Whiskey Alpha's Piper Comanche PH4/Alpha. Taxi the active VFR East departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach Ground, need you to verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Ground, Roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and the east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Roger. Runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right via Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right Kilo, ready for departure VFR east.
Number 916 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right down with departure route.
Clear for takeoff 25 right down with departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs. Ground scanning Hotel Tango. East Red, India. Close traffic. 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango, do Mike. Palm Springs ground, say again aircraft type.
For a Cessna Skyhawk.
Skyline Tango, do Mike. Thank you. Runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo. 31 right. Papa Hotel Tango.
We're 791 Juliet, towards ground left.
Okay, Skyhawk 791 Juliet. We see there's no clearance delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Skyhawk 791 Juliet. Type Cessna 172 on the south Angus with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to Jumpman.
Number 791 Juliet, Roger. Departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249, that's 2061. Squawk 791 Juliet.
Got 991 Juliet, read back is correct. Are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go around Kingston. Skyhawk 791 Juliet, south Angus, 956.
Sky 791 Juliet, Roger. Runway 29 right. Taxi via hotel. Correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right taxi by Alpha and Juliet, Skyhawk 791 Juliet.
Palm Springs Tower, scanning Papa Hotel Tango. Mike is holding short runway 31 right. Bravo. I'm ready for departure. Close traffic.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode here on the Uncertified Pilot. Happy Friday, it's weekend, and that means also time to fly. And today I'm going to do my CAT rating also with Mireille.
Hi.
She's sitting next to me. Again, at dinner, she got interested in my flight or my CAT rating, and she was figuring out on ForeFlight what flight we need to do, which was much more complex. I'm going to explain you in just a bit. So she just decided to hop into the cockpit, and she's always welcome, right? So she will sit along here. She will also practice or follow me through the checklist, just to practice with that a bit, and also mess around with the chart. So it's going to be a really fun flight, I guess. It's going to be a brief flight. Let me show you. So the CAT-07 rating, this is it. We're going to fly from San Bernardino, a Delta class airport, all the way through the class Charlie airspace of Ontario to El Monte. Now, what's interesting is that the sectional used to depict El Monte as an airport, as the airport name. But as you can see now in the sectional, the airport is called San Gabriel Valley. So I guess the CAT-07 rating is already a bit outdated, so I'm just going to refer to El Monte as San Gabriel, because that's the updated new name for the airport. And, well, it's going to be a very brief flight, about 25 minutes you were
23, yeah.
23, 20, oh.
Well, but that's the direct line, so it might take a bit longer.
Oh, okay, yeah. Right. So, well, it's going to be a very short flight, and again, something that I'm familiar with. Or, well, I transitioned a Delta airspace, but I didn't transition a Charlie just yet. But I guess it's the same drill. It's kind of like requesting flight following, and then we're going to transition all the way over to El Monte. So one of the things, let me just go through the flight and tick on some stages that we were considering in terms of flight preparation. Hey, did the chat just update or not? I can imagine. I thought there were more chat messages.
Yeah, it
here.
updated. Yeah.
Oh, it updated. Okay. Well, weird. Well, guys, welcome to the stream. The Pizza No Glory. Kimo, welcome to see you. Brickyard Gaming, welcome as well here on board. And Leo also. Thank you guys for joining in. So, from the start, so departure here from San Bernardino. We're going to depart here. Now, as you can see, San Bernardino is very, very close to the Class Charlie airspace of Ontario. The outer shell here starts at 2,700, goes up to 5,000. And as you can see, when we depart from San Bernardino, we might run the risk of already bashing through that airspace while we're still departing and not being in contact with Charlie yet. So we thought, let's circle around or just go up north, so we buy ourselves some time to contact approach first, right? Because we need to establish two-way communication. So that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to request a transition, and we'll see what the Ontario controller will tell us, how we should transition and on what altitude. I'm going to stick at around 3,000 feet because we need to overfly Brackett. That's a delta that's even in between Ontario and our destination airport of San Gabriel. So we'll overfly that delta by about 300 feet. And also, I don't like to go that much up because we need to descend already after we once you already crossed a bracket here, because El Monte is already here and we need to descend to traffic pattern altitude. So rather than going up to 4,500 or so, let's just stick to the lowest altitude possible. And I think 3,000 would be fine. I don't know if the Ontario approach controller allows us to transition the airspace on 3,000 feet. If not, if we need to go up higher, we need to stick with VFR altitudes. And that might turn out to be 4,500 feet or so. And again, because we do that in advance already here north outside of the Class Charlie, we can still circle around a bit just to gain altitude and then fly on 4,500, for example. So that's a little bit of an experiment. We'll see how that goes. I'm expecting that we will get a transition north of the airfield, hopefully at 3,000 feet. And what we're going to do is we're going to use radio navigation here.
Well, maybe Brickyard is saying that they won't give you any transition instructions.
Only required to establish. Well, Brickyard, that's correct. So as long as we have two-way communications, it's true we can do whatever. But sometimes, I've always seen that in previous streams as well on PilotEdge, the controller can give us specific instructions to fly. For example, stay northbound of Ontario or stick to a particular altitude. It might not be the case. It can also just be that we are just in contact with the approach controller and nothing happens and we can just transition. We'll see. Anyway, the point that I was making is weather. As you can already see, we've got a lot of marginal VMC here. That's also why I postponed the flight, because a few hours earlier there was even an overcast at 1,200 feet or so around Ontario and also around Pomona and even our destination airport. So there was no way for us to even depart and arrive at our airport. So I looked at the tabs and I saw that the weather is actually improving now, but still we've got marginal VMC, and that's fun. It's challenging because we need to, again, we need to fly now in marginal VMC with very, very little visibility. So that's going to be quite interesting. So have a look here at Ontario. METAR is saying, well, no winds, as you can see. And we got 4 statute miles of visibility and some haze, but clear skies, but 4 statute miles. So that's we're still legal as VFR pilots, but just legal. And it might be interesting to see how challenging that can be also in a flight sim. That means that we can also not fully rely on visual reference points, because chances are we cannot see anything outside, perhaps only a little bit straight down, but that is, well, of little use when we need to reference far ahead. So radio navigation is very, very important. So we're going to use Pomona here as a VOR to fly towards and to overfly actually Bracket, and then fly an outbound radial from Pomona in the direction of San Gabriel. And hopefully we can spot San Gabriel before we enter the traffic pattern. Well, I think so, but still, that's going to be an experiment. And that's why we need this VOR navigation route. So there might be a risk today that I'm going to fail my CAT rating because of this bad weather. In the real world, we would not depart or make or even attempt this flight, but I think it's challenging. And well, as you guys know, the Uncertified Pilot is all about doing experiments and learning as much as we can. And this is something new. So let's see how far we can get this flight. Now, Mariah, as the second in command, will also just assist a bit. And also learning a bit more about airspaces and perhaps helping with taxi to the runway and that stuff. So that's very, very kind. It's also very cozy in the cockpit. So as always, she's very, very welcome. Now, in terms of weather, let me just also look at the METAR of San Bernardino, the airport that we are currently, our departure airport. METAR. Again, no winds, 3 statute miles of visibility, but clear skies. Well, it's going to be interesting. Forecast is telling that it is improving. As you can see on the second row, well, it's actually the third one. You can see that the wind increased a bit, and also we got 5 statute miles of visibility. And even more hours later, you can see that the wind is picking up, and we've got 6 statute miles of visibility, but still clear skies. So the weather is gradually improving. That's good to know, locally at least. In Ontario, that's also the case, I think. Let's double check. Yeah, so currently 5 statute miles and haze and clear skies, and it will also become VMC in the next few hours. And, well, our destination airport, does it have METAR? I guess so. Yes, it does. 4 knots. Oh, that's already VMC, scattered at 2,000 feet. So we might also need to be able to divert or fly in between clouds because of VFR pilots. We cannot fly through clouds. We always need to ensure that visual reference with traffic and terrain. So with scattered clouds, that's possible, but we perhaps need to do some maneuvering there to get down to traffic pattern altitude. I also like to check already the taxi diagram here of our destination airport, El Monte. Never been to El Monte, so that's nice. Runway 19 and runway 1, as you can see. We've got we've got a couple of terminals there. Transient parking, that's usually the parking where GA aircraft are parked. So usually the wind is coming from the ocean, so coming from down up north. So I'm expecting that we will get that we got runway 1, and we'll just we'll depart at Delta, and it's going to be a very simple parking procedure, much more simple than at Burbank, but we'll have to see what happens. I'm also interested in knowing what the traffic pattern direction is. Do we have a left-hand or a right-hand traffic pattern? We can look by going to the sectional again and zoom in, because if it's right pattern, by default, it's left-hand, and if it's right pattern, it's always depicted. As you can see on the bottom, RP, right pattern for runway 19. That means that for runway 1, it's still left-hand. So if we're coming for runway 19, we fly right into, no, not right into. Then the traffic pattern is on the where's the ruler? Yeah, is on this side, right? So right pattern. And when we go to the 01 runway, we'll get the left-hand pattern on this side. So all the traffic pattern stuff is on this side. So that's not the side that we are coming from. So perhaps we are going to get a left crosswind entry when we arrive at El Monte. And then we need to make our downwind turn, and then our base turn, and then our final turn. Sometimes the controllers are flexible, and they just give you, in this case, a right base entry. But we'll have to see how flexible the controller is today. Okay, well, that's about it. So again, in terms of weather, that's the biggest challenge. We've got a lot of airports to divert to. Let's get going. I will grab the taxi diagram here of San Bernardino, and we are currently there. That's the general aviation ramp. So I will just, we can share this along, and we can use this. Yep. Okay, so away with the iPad. Hey, the chat is continuously refreshing. I'm noticing. It's weird. So guys, I've got a window here, a pop-up window with your chat, but every now and then the chat is refreshing, so I cannot see what you guys posted a few minutes ago. That's a little bit annoying, and it's also quite new, so perhaps Twitch is working on some stuff while we are streaming, so my apologies. I don't know what you guys are chatting about, and if there's anything that you'd like to mention that's very important or important to you, just repost that chat, because otherwise I wouldn't know. Okay, so again, go up San Bernardino, and there's the 3 statute miles of visibility. My gosh. Also very basic airport here. So nothing like Greg's scenery. Runway, what is it? 24? Yep, 24. So we're very close to 24. Hopefully we're going to get assigned 24. In other ways, it's going to be runway 06, and we have a little bit longer of a taxi, but we're very near those taxiways. Good. Let's hop into the cockpit. Let me see. Let me sync my TrackIR. Good. And well, the door is already closed. Okay. Shall we start?
We can start.
Okay. Let me first fasten my seatbelts, because there's no start without physical seatbelts on.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. You've got a checklist. I made a abbreviated, simplified checklist for Mireille, because she's also flying. I will post it on the Discord.
I'm sorry, keeping it in front of your face.
No, yeah, no, it's perfect. No, it's fine. So we thought about just using that simplified checklist for this flight, so Mireille already familiarizes a bit with those simple steps.
Yeah.
Hey, Ozzy, good to see you as well. Scandinavian, good to see you on the stream as well. How close to the clouds are you allowed to fly? Yeah, well, that was the main concern for the marginal VMC Scandinavian, but now it's only visibility, not cloud ceilings anymore. So hopefully we can just freely fly around, but still we cannot rely on PilotEdge that much, because we cannot see that much. We'll see. Captain Blackwood, good to see you on stream as well.
But what would it be? Like if there would be clouds, how?
There's a rule for VFR flying, which you should just memorize. It's 3512. That's 3512 is a code, and 3 means that you need at least 3 statute miles of visibility. If it's lower, you've got IMC.
Yeah.
If you got a 4 to 5, it's marginal VMC. But legally, more than 3 statute miles of visibility. The 5 means that you need to be 500 feet, at least 500 feet below the cloud ceiling. Mm-hmm. So if you're underflying clouds, you cannot go that close because you don't know what's coming in. So 500 feet. 351 is the altitude that you at least need to fly above the clouds, 1,000 feet. So at least 1,000. Again, the departing aircraft can fly through the clouds. And the 2 is 2,000 feet laterally, so next to clouds.
Okay.
So clouds have their own airspace almost that you need to avoid, as a VFR pilot at least. And that was what Scandinavian is referring to. And that's very important. Hey, Bar, good to see you as well. Welcome on the stream. Good to see you guys. It's Friday. It's nice. Weekend. Tenton you should take your airplane to North Las Vegas Airport, but you've got airspace, and I don't think PilotEdge gets to Vegas. Well, a bit, I think. I don't know if that's included as well here on PilotEdge. But we have a lot of fun airports to explore here as well on the LA area. Okay. The
Okay,
cold and
let's
dark test.
do this.
Bring it on. What's the first item on the checklist?
PilotEdge Connect.
We did. We are. I think we are connected. Let me just double check. We are connected. Yes.
Okay, TrackIR centered.
That's centered.
Switches reset.
Switches are reset. Yep.
Lights on. Beacon navigation, I assume.
Let me see. Lights on. Yeah, so the beacon is already on, and if it's night, you should also always, like the beacon, always turn on the nav lights. But because we're not flying in daylight, we don't have to. So just the beacon light should be on even before anything is on yet. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Parking brake set.
Parking brakes are set. Yep.
Okay. The yoke is calibrated.
The yoke is calibrated. Yep.
Throttle aft.
Yeah, that means behind, thoroughly to yours, towards your...
Mixture aft.
Yep.
Trim activate reset.
My trim was working. Yep.
Seatbelt fasten.
Yep, we are.
Charts axis.
We've got those nearby. Good.
Flight brief.
Yeah, so our flight we did, our briefing. That's the briefing that we did. So we know what we're going to do. Perfect.
So we did the cold part.
Yep.
Cold check. Okay, the pre-start. Batteries on.
Batteries are now on.
Lights test.
Let me see. I can see. Oh, that's not. The switch panel here does not correspond with the same kind of battery. I need to press that one. Batteries are on. Yeah.
Okay.
Then.
Lights test.
A lights test, but that's only, I guess, for night. Is there a little asterisk over there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
that's what you did for night.
You don't know yet. Okay. So everything where I did an asterisk, that's only referred to when the stars are in the heavens.
Okay.
So right. So
nice.
we there are some specific checks for, and also by day you should also verify your lights, but we cannot do an external walk around. We don't know where the lights are on if we release our seat belts, turn every light on, and go outside to see if the lights are actually working. That's what you would do in real life, but we can't here with the...
Okay.
Okay.
So flight control is correct.
Flight control is correct. Good one. Let me see. So first, right, that one goes down. To left, that one goes down. Up, down. Check the trim, whether that's working. That's working as well. And rudder feet. Yeah, those work. Good.
Avionics on.
Avionics on. Those are on.
Flaps test.
Flaps test. Let's put on all the flaps and see if they actually go down. Also go down in sync. They do. Okay. Yep. Check.
Avionics all display.
They are all in display. Yep. Good.
Enunciated panel test.
Yeah, that's this little thing.
Not
so
power.
this is where all the error messages are displayed on this particular panel. You need to test whether those lights are actually working. So there's a little switch here. Test. You know whether those are working, and they do.
Okay. Good. Altimeter.
Altimeter. Yep.
Set altitude.
Set altitude. Yes. So every airport has its own altitude. See, or elevation as it is called. Can you spot that here on the ForeFlight? Airport elevation. Oh. Somewhere. Well, there's nothing. Yeah. It's in a box. It's actually not.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Correct. And what does it state? How high is
1159 feet.
1159 feet. Thanks. So 1159 feet. Something like this, right?
Yeah.
11,000 and a little bit more. Okay. That's set. Thank you. This is nice with a checklist flow. Okay.
Fuel quantity check.
Fuel quantity. Well, we got 17 gallons in each tank, and that's plenty for this flight. Verified.
Avionics off.
Avionics off.
Battery off.
Battery off.
Okay.
Okay, good.
That was the second checklist.
The pre-flight was that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now we're the start section.
Very
Parking
nice.
brake on.
Parking brakes are set.
Battery on.
Battery on.
Fuel pump on.
Fuel pump on.
Mixture in.
Mixture in.
And then aft.
And then aft.
Fuel pump off.
Off.
Throttle a bit in.
Throttle a bit in.
Throttle set to 1000 RPM.
No, I think we should first use the magnetos, the starter. Does it state that on the checklist or not? Yeah, that's this, and this, I put this in a little bit different of a font because that's more like a flow. So when you start the engine, you should go to start, right?
Yeah.
And then push in the mixture. That's a little bit different than you practice or we practice with the traffic partner. So that's something new. So I will do that right now. Again, make sure that there's no one around here. There's no one around, so clear prop. There we go. And then back to both, and then 1000 RPM, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mixture lean.
Mixture lean for ground, so a little bit. Good.
Enunciated panel clear.
And our enunciated panel has no indications here, so our engine is running. Good.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, pre-taxi. Avionics on.
Avionics on.
Transponder 1200 alt.
12, yeah, and that should be turned on here.
Yeah. Navigation radio set.
Navigation radios. What do we need to set here? Okay, so navigation radios. So what we got, or what we planned to do, was flying to Pomona. What is the VOR of Pomona? Can you look it up?
What?
The VOR that we need to fly to, the beacon that we need to fly to, has its own frequency. Can you spot it?
110.4.
110.4. Go ahead. Good.
110.4. Yep.
Switch. That's active. Thank you for the follow. See we know. Thanks for the follow. Welcome on board. Okay, so that's set. And what kind of a radial are we going to fly? What's the course of that leg? Can you use the ruler to have an idea of what that course is? Something here.
247 degrees.
47 degrees. Good. That's set. Thanks. Okay.
So how did you do?
So there's a knob here where you can change the compass rows here, and this is, you should look at what's so this on the top, so that's 2, 4 and a bit 7. And what's also important here that we didn't talk about yet, but I'm going to use that app with you to practice, that there's also a little indication here that shows you whether you are set this thing to go towards it or whether you're going from it.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned.
Yeah, but we will I will show you. Perfect, thanks.
Okay.
That's the nav. And what's the next item?
Then the communication radio set.
Thanks for the follow, Macaron. Thanks. Sorry, what did you say?
I said communication radio set.
Okay, yeah. What do we need?
So I guess you need the frequencies.
Yeah. Give it a shot. What do we need?
I would say we need the weather.
We need the weather. Good. What's the ATIS of San Bernardino?
124.175.
Okay, so you
need to set it to COM2.
Good, well, go ahead. You can use either panel, whatever you like. Good.
124.17. Should have turned the other way.
Doesn't matter. Take your time.
Okay. And you need. What was Unicom? Is that something?
No, that's not something you can. You can.
So it's just ground and tower.
Yes, because we're on a Delta airport. That's the first frequency that we're going to check here. There's also a clearance delivery. I can see, but that's by phone. You can skip.
Okay. So ground is 1.
Hey, UK Jim, good to see you.
2.
Yeah, it's barely VFR. It's a VMC. Actually, it's marginal VMC currently. We've got very bad visibility, but that's part of the challenge today. See, or a cap rating, whether that will actually be possible. And welcome in the cockpit.
Okay. So this tower, that's ground. That's good.
Good, thanks.
So we have the communication radio set.
So okay, good. Yep.
Audio panel ATIS.
Yeah, so let's listen to ATIS. We now set the radio, so I'm going to switch to that COM2 frequency. Let's have a listen. If we have any listen. Double check. COM radio is on COM2 is 124.17. That's correct?
Yeah. So
we don't have an ATIS, I guess. Okay, no, it doesn't work. So that's not a really big problem here on PilotEdge. That means that we can just use our own. We are aware of the METARs on ForeFlight, so we know what the weather is doing, so we can pick our own code mic or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Audio panel COM1 active.
Yep, check.
Heading indicator compass.
Heading indicator. So that's also very important. The heading indicator you can set yourself. You can even change the heading that it's pointing to. So you should verify whether the heading indicator corresponds with your magnetic compass, because your magnetic compass mostly doesn't lie. There are some influences on the magnetic compass, but you should always verify that those are aligned. So
Finalized ground, good morning, November.
This is 16, so 165, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit different because it's mirrored, so it goes the other way around. But it's what this is 180, right?
Yeah.
To the south, so this is
Papa Van Nuys
165.
ground, Roger, runway
So let's
16
see,
right, taxi via
165.
Alpha Charlie.
Well,
Alpha Charlie, 46 right, Cessna 44.
this is better.
Okay.
Okay, that's verified. Good. Next.
You can check with the in-game map if there is an ATIS.
Oh yeah, Lex, that's true. But no, that's not with ForeFlight.
Okay.
That's here with X-Plane. That's
Okay.
Ryba. It's fine.
We've got
Number
Mike.
4436 Echo contact, Los Angeles Center 125.
Okay, heading bug set. You did that right?
No, I didn't
Oh,
set
no.
that. That's this. That's this little thing. Where do we
127
need to
Charlie
set
Bravo
it to?
contact,
What do you think?
Bakersfield approach 118.8.
I don't know.
Usually the runway that we are assigned to, we don't know what the runway is that we're gonna get assigned to for departure.
Okay, so
we can pick either one. You can see with the extended, you can also see these extended center lines. So you can also see 0, 6, and 2, 4. So you don't need to go to the taxi diagram each time. So I would expect 2, 4. We'll see.
Yeah.
We're gonna reset that very, very soon. Okay. Yep, that's it. Next.
taxi route brief.
Taxi route brief. Good. Could you grab the taxi diagram on ForeFlight?
Okay.
Now, if we would get runway 24, what would you expect? What kind of taxi would we get? Do you know where we are? Still parked or not?
Yeah, you said we were somewhere here.
Yeah, correct.
Well, like this, right?
Yeah. So just via Alpha 24.
Yeah.
There's only Alpha, I think. There, right? As you
Yeah.
can zoom in. So that's a very, very basic taxi. Now, if we are assigned runway 06, what runway? How
we would need to
like this? So what would the tower say then? So taxi to runway 06 via what air?
Alpha.
Alpha. Also
Yeah.
still quite basic.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Okay.
Good. Okay, so that's our brief. One thing
Okay.
that I would like to know, but I guess the tower controller will tell us that, will also tell us that on the radio, is do we have what kind of left-hand or right-hand traffic patterns do we have for each runway?
Okay.
And you
yeah,
can
that's
look.
what you you showed earlier.
Right. Have a look.
And right pattern for runway 6.
Good.
So let me see. If we would if we would have the one yeah, runway 6, so the one that's a little bit lower on the map.
Yeah.
We would need to make right turn, so we would fly, well, maybe we would fly below the,
Yeah, perhaps Ontario stuff. Well, that could be. Yeah.
it would not make a lot of sense if we would immediately cross the airport and
True.
and if we would go the other way,
So runway 24.
runway 24, it would be left hand.
Yeah. So how would we then go? Draw it on the map. What would be a left-hand traffic on 24? Yeah.
This?
Yeah. So in both cases, we stick to the same side of the airport, right? Independent of what runway we.
yeah.
So that controllers have thought about that. So perhaps that area is more safe. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It could also be that the tower would say just a straight out departure. That can also still be the case, and they can remain quite flexible. It's good to know beforehand what the airport is all about. Good. Thanks.
And it, yeah. No, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What's this thing with the?
Yeah, that means that we
pad?
now have the taxi route, so now we can start to contact ground
Oh,
and
this
start
contact,
our
okay.
flight. But let me just check here, because what we're going to do, we're going to request just an ordinary departure. We're going to catch flight following the support of the CAT-07 rating. We're going to ask for a transition while we are departing. And so now we just need to request for a regular departure. And what we plan to do was to go northbound. because that will give us some time to switch frequencies, also get out of the delta, and then switch frequencies to SOCAL approach. Now I like to prepare that as well, because I don't like to search for frequencies while we are departing, so that's something that I'm going to note on my notepad. Now, there are all of these magenta boxes here, as you can see, with SOCAL approach, all scattered around the map. Those are the ones that we can use to contact with an approach controller, and well, those guys can coordinate our transition. But there's a better way, especially when you've got a specific airport to transition through. You can also tick on Ontario in this case, because it's the Charlie class airspace of Ontario, and we can look at all the different SOCAL approach controls that are associated with particular regions of the Ontario. So Ontario is so big, such a large airport, Charlie class airport, that there are different guides on different frequencies for different parts surrounding the airport that they are controlling. So as you can see here, SOCAL approach for the southwest north, northeast, northeast south, south. No. So what SOCAL approach frequency do we need? Well, we are coming from the northeast, right? So 127.0. That will be our frequency, as you can see. You see it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, 127.0. So that's the one that I'm already gonna write here on my notepad, so we know that. And that's the one that we're gonna set as soon as we talk to tower. So we set that in the standby, this 127.0, so that when we're flying, we can just hit switch, and then we're ready to go. Okay. There's another frequency that I'd like to set. Yeah, there's a lot of preparation, but it's important. When we're going to overfly Ontario, we also need to know the ATIS of Ontario. I guess. Oh no, we're going to fly on flight following, so... No. We need ATIS, always. So, I would also like to set the ATIS of Ontario in the standby of COM2. That's still set? Yeah. So that's going to be 124.25, please. Very nice, this help.
124.25. Check.
Thank you. Okay, and we also need to do the same thing when we are flying to San Gabriel, because then we also need to do that while we are flying.
Okay.
Which we're gonna prepare. Okay. And that's about it for now. Good, we set the nav1 and a good OBS. Perfect. So, let's request for a northbound departure. On1 active, good. And we are at the northeast ramp. Northeast ramp, okay. And we've got the weather. Well, we've got the weather. We don't have
Number
tankers.
2344 Papa, SoCal departure. Good morning, radar contact.
And
Van Nuys,
Marcus
altimeter
is on
29903, maintain
online.
VFR.
San Bernardino ground, good day. Skyhawk Pop Hotel Tango Mike is on the northeast ramp with the weather, requesting a northbound departure, and would like to do the CAT-07 today.
Papa Hotel Tango Indy Mike, San Bernardino ground. Good morning. Runway 6, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 6 via Alpha, Papa Hotel Tango. Okay. So 6 via Alpha, we already know kind of like how that goes, right?
So that's the one below.
That's the one. Let's double check.
So that's the
Let's just double check.
sure.
Oh, you're sure? Yeah, that's the one below. Right. Okay. Okay. No squawk codes to set and all kind of that stuff because it's just a Delta airport. Okay. So what we need to do? We're going to taxi right now.
Okay. Lights on, taxi.
Well, we don't need this with a S6,
yep,
I think.
sorry.
Yep.
Brakes test.
Brakes test, yeah. So park and brakes released.
4400, Roger, thanks.
Are working?
That's good.
Yep.
Heading indicator turning.
So one thing that you need to check is that the thing is actually working. And so while we are taxiing here, you turn here, you can see that the heading indicator is nice here, and also you can see that thing turning, and that's a good sign.
Good. Departure route brief.
Yeah, so that's the only thing that we need to do in this simplified checklist. So we're now going to taxi. We can, while we're taxiing already, again, brief what we're going to do after departure, so you don't take a lot of time when we are near the runway.
Okay.
So I think we need to go to the left or right?
Right.
To the right, good. No one's on the left.
So we need to make a right-hand turn.
Good. If we would stay in the traffic pattern, we ask just for a northbound departure, which is actually the other way around. So we'll just
Okay.
we're just gonna listen what Marcus is gonna say. Perhaps he's gonna say make a left crosswind departure, which is not as we read on the charts, or sorry, as we read on these charts.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, we just have to listen.
Okay.
So we're on alpha. That's confirmed. Black. Good. Nice. Do I need to go to the left? Right here.
To the left.
Right. You can see those are red lights. They're also big lights. Those indicate that you would actually then go on the runway.
Oh, okay. So it's an exit.
It's an exit or an entry on the
Yeah. Yeah, but we want to entry, so then we could also make a left turn.
Oh yes, sure. So that's what we could do in case if we'd like to depart from 2-4 at an intersection. But in this case, we just keep on rolling to runway 06. Look at the weather, guys.
Marcus is leaving.
Marcus is leaving. Marcus. Well, thanks again. And good to see you on stream. So we've got subscription buttons, Marcus. Have you designed your own emote already? I was expecting your emote to be radio check. Something like John Fly is using Oh Snack. I don't know what mine's gonna be. Thank you for the follow, Alexa. Thanks. I have. So excited for radio checks. Right, as expected. Awesome. Good.
It's quite a long.
Well, yeah, and we noticed right on the taxi diagram,
yeah.
it's a long.
Yeah, we were on the other side of the airport.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, all the other spots that I saw on X-Plane side are all for the bigger airports, airplanes.
Yeah.
So some fire trucks and stuff.
And that's the air traffic control for tower, right? The tower.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The important guys. Okay, so our departure brief. So again, runway 6. We requested a northbound departure. I'm curious to see what the controller will tell us. How we will be directed up north. I would still expect a left crosswind, because that would make sense based on our runway. But right pattern, we'll see.
Okay.
Then we're just going to climb to 3,000 feet northbound, and we're going to switch frequencies for the SoCal approach controller. And ask for a transition through Ontario airspace at 3,000 feet. I don't know if that's allowed. We'll hear. It could also be assigned a higher altitude at 4,500.
Someone's asking if you have
Number 4436 Echo, contact
USSF
Joshua
Steeler is
First,
asking if you have your license back
126.1. Good day.
for violating Bravo airspace.
Yeah. I think did I tell you about that in the previous flight? I was flying over LAX, Los Angeles International, and I didn't have clearance to cross that Bravo, and I was just doing the procedure actually quite correct, but I didn't hear ATC tell me that I had clearance to do that.
Charlie Bravo,
And this controller,
cancellation,
Susan,
mispriced
told
frequency,
Tim, do you know that you're in
change
violation
your
of Bravo
frequency
airspace?
per-
And I thought, what? And Steeler was also on stream, and so he says, well, do you still have your certificate to fly today? Because it's a serious violation.
Your block say again.
Hey, John Fly is hosting. Good. Nice.
Sky 44 Papa Roger, remain outside Bravo airspace.
What a long
contact
taxi.
Circle Bridge
You weren't kidding.
We have a lot of viewers. 36 souls on board.
Ah, nice for a little Cessna. Cozy guys, welcome.
They have confidence in your CAT rating, even though the weather is not that nice.
Well,
4436 Echo.
still
Joshua
though,
Bridge,
we're using
Delta
VOR
2,
navigation, so that's a help, right? That's what you thought about as well, by your own, right? To use VOR navigation because we got bad weather when we're having dinner. To use the beacon and not just rely on visual.
No, I did.
Yeah. Yeah, VOR, that's what a beacon is called, VOR. Okay, we're coming up to the runway, as you can see here, so that's good.
Going ground.
Manji 8831 Bravo is with you at
We're going
the
to taxi a little bit
southeast ramp.
further on here, so we're
Taxi
away of the
over to the
taxiway. We can
southeast
do our
run up for
power
engine
check.
runs.
I don't think that is
Sky 2,
part of the
344
checklist, but I'm going to do that.
Papa,
What's the first item on the
Los
checklist of
Angeles
your
altimeter
checklist?
2993,
before
clear to enter
takeoff,
Los Angeles
park and
Bravo
brake.
airspace vehicles to route
Park and
TV
brake,
for
that sounds good.
5500.
Okay, park and brake. Yep, and
then contact the tower.
yeah, well, I'm going to do one thing first. I didn't include it yet in
Yeah.
your checklist. That's to see if the engine is actually properly working. So what
If
I'm going
someone's
to do,
looking for close
extra
traffic
full
over,
in,
stay
set
in
it
the
to
call sign in your position.
1800 RPM
Yeah.
while we're on the ground, and I see if the
Fiber
oil
Manji
pressure is still
8831
okay, if you don't
Bravo.
get any errors
yeah.
on
The
it,
Atlantic
just to make sure that it's
Aviation looking
working.
for a taxi over to
Well,
the
and some other
southeast
stuff
run
with the engine I'm going in right now. Left mag.
You're
Oh, that was the
8831 Bravo,
starter.
John ground. Taxi is south
Right
ground out via
mag is
Alpha
working as
Hotel.
well. Back to both.
And do you just
Charging. Good.
like taxi
We go
now, or
full
coming
idle to
back,
see
or
if the
you gonna
engine
take
doesn't stop
off?
on its own, just to see if we
I'm
still have no
gonna get engine
messages,
runs in, and then I'm
still
gonna
air
taxi
pressure.
to runway,
Thank you for the follow,
20
PP
left
Stormin.
for
Thanks,
close traffic.
welcome on board.
Roger.
And back to 1000. Good. Okay. So again, one last time, we're gonna depart. We're gonna go northbound. We're gonna request northbound once again with the tower controller. Let's see how that goes. We're gonna fly to 3,000 feet, and while we are climbing, did we already listen to the ATIS of Ontario yet? No.
No.
Huh? Shall we do that? Just see
Yeah.
if we can pick that one up already. There's no such thing as an emergency takeoff.
Ontario INTL Information Sierra.
Sierra.
1900 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility 6.
6? Oh, good.
Sky clear.
Good.
Temperature 21. Dew point 2. Altimeter 2991.
I think
Arriving
he was a
runway 08
stealer.
left.
What is he
Departing
saying?
runway 08 left.
He's saying that he's here
Advise
for
on
me.
initial
What did he say?
That he's here for me.
Oh, nice. And Dad is there as well. Nice. Okay.
Hi, Frank.
Okay, so COM 1, we've got Sierra. So that's important because when we're going to contact approach, so we can now switch to tower. Yes, with the checklist. Sorry, we need to do the checklist. Yeah, tower.
Yeah, because we need to do the lights on first.
Lights on first. What lights?
Strobe landing.
Strobe and landing. Good, that's on.
Okay, now you have to contact the tower.
Contact the tower. Would you set these the standby
Yeah.
frequency already to 127.0? That's SoCal approach of the northeast side of Ontario. Yeah, it starts over again if you go through 3.6. It only has a range from 1.8 to 3.6.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
you can
thought it
cycle
was-
around as long
okay,
as
I
you
was
like.
doing the wrong side. Okay.
27.
Yeah.
No peace and no glory. You see there, don't tell Tim, but aren't we all?
No, that's not true. But he
Well,
is.
we do like your
Yeah.
presence. It's good. And also just to have some more female power in the flight sim
Yeah, that's
community
true.
is very, very healthy and good. Hey, Scotty, good to see you as well on the stream. How are you doing? And happy Friday. Okay, so frequency set, set to the tower. You said, Tim,
Contact the
tower.
tower.
Again,
Yeah.
we're going to do the same thing.
And set the clock.
And set the clock.
Because we're all thinking it, right?
Except for me, most of the time. Select estimated time. We're going to do that as soon as we're going to start. Okay, so we're ready to go. Oh, yeah.
So also you forgot to put on the clocks on the checklist.
No, I did that deliberately because there wasn't enough room. And I thought it's a little bit more advanced for you because it's always also much more advanced for me.
Taxi
Okay.
with Tango.
Kevin 172 Torrance ground, runway 29 right, taxi via Alpha Juliet. Have your request for the mini route.
We didn't reset the heading mark. It was still set to 24 because we expected that, but it turned out it was 6.
Juliet, Caravan 1970.
Not a big thing. But
Good morning.
No peace and no glory is saying the exact thing that I said to you before the stream. Your first emoticon should be a clock.
yeah, but I don't like. It's not.
No.
It's the first emoticon. It should be cheerful. It should be something cool. Anyway. Scandinavian. Thanks for supporting Mireia. Okay, so.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Going ground command G8 Bravo is at the southeast run up.
I'm taking too much
like
time,
taxi
sorry.
to
No,
20
no.
left for
We're joking
close
too
traffic.
much. Let's get serious.
You said that the Pomona VOR didn't have DME,
QNH
but I do
8831
have
Bravo,
DME
runway
reading at
20 left at
267.
Kilo, taxi to
26.7.
the
It's,
Alpha
yeah,
Hotel
okay.
Charlie
Maybe I misread.
Kilo.
That's Alpha
double
Hotel
check.
Charlie Kilo to 20 left at Kilo for 31 Bravo.
110.4.
Thank you, Captain Morgan, for following.
Well, there isn't any DME depicted
Right?
there.
No.
But I believe Keith also mentioned this is one of the previous streams. This is the VOR symbol. This little thing here, not the star, but that.
The
and I
thing,
think
yeah.
if those blocks, those 3 blocks, are filled in with a color, that indicates also that it has that
Okay.
distance. But I don't know for sure. I thought it was a box that should be surrounding that, but it's a little bit weird. Either way, we've got a distance measurement.
Caravan
Eclipse 7
197,
Charlie
by the
Bravo,
way,
thank
I'm
you. IFR
practicing
cancellation is
this
received.
for
Have a
the
great day.
CAT-10, but it's only
Okay,
the
now
first
come on.
part, and it's just practice. Caravan 197.
And thanks for the
Right,
follows,
last
by the
call
way.
in the I think I blocked Tuesday again.
Caravan 1972, I am practicing for catch the first part of CAT-10, so I might need some advice.
Caravan 1972, Roger.
San Bernardino Tower, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Mike is holding short 06 for a northbound departure.
07 Whiskey uniform.
Stepped on.
3827 Whiskey uniform, were you calling for tire? 1037 Whiskey uniform, contact Los Angeles Center 135.5. KHTIM San Bernardino Tower, wind calm. Northwest departure approved, runway 6 clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 6, northwest departure, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Okay, good. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Nice. So that means that we don't have to stick to the traffic pattern stuff, because northwest, if you can see here, this is 06.
Yeah.
Right, this is 6.
Yeah.
As you can see, northwest is to the left of us. So we got
Oh,
him
yeah.
approved. So the tower is the boss, so he can also just ignore the traffic pattern, which is just great. Okay, what's the pre-takeoff stuff? Did we already do that? Yeah, we already
did
that.
everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
and cruise is when we are on level. So that's we now need to depart first.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm staying tuned.
Eclipse
All
7
right,
Charlie Bravo,
there we
ahead.
go. Lights are on again. Mixture full in. Trim is set. Fuel tanks both. Good. No one is on.
Eclipse
runway.
127 Charlie Bravo,
Good.
that
Winds are
is
calm.
up to
Good.
you. Just as long as you cancel your IFR flight plan with ATC,
She's
that's the
eating
most
something, I
important
think.
part.
The controller.
It's done that way, so if
Thank
the
you,
field
Voju.
is VFR conditions, the pilot wants to cancel IFR, they can do it right there in the air. Otherwise, if it's down to minimums, the pilot's able to maintain the IFR clearance all the way down to the ground.
06 confirms with our compass. Again, we're ready to go. Full throttle. A little bit of right pedals. Engine is still in the
Comes up
green.
about Charlie
Airspeed
Bravo.
is
Yep,
alive.
that's basically what's called circling.
40.
For IFR, you just have to, like what you did for the
50.
CAT-10, that's really no difference.
60.
Correction, the
and
I-10.
rotates. There we go. Aim for VY. That's the 80 speed.
No problem.
So now I'm pushing on the yoke. So let's do some nose down trim so I can relieve that pressure on the yoke and my flying becomes much more relaxed.
Centurion 7 Whiskey uniform, it's pretty technically advanced. It's 135.5.
So at around 500 feet AGL, we could already start our departure turn to the northwest. So the airport elevation was around 1100, right?
Yep.
So at around 600 right now, we can already start to make our northwest turn. And again, visibility is bad.
Centurion H60 Whiskey uniform, Los Angeles Center, Climate maintain 10,000. And I'll give you positive
Now we
levels,
fly outside of the
altimeter
delta first, and then we're going to
2997.
contact SoCal approach. All right. The north it is. Climbing 2,000 feet, still 1,000 feet to go. Let's request whether we can already change frequencies to Ontario. San Bernardino Tower, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike is just supported. Can we switch frequencies?
PHTIM, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. Papa Delta Tango Mike. Switch. Good. Okay, so we're now flying outside, almost outside of the Delta. 3,000 feet. I'm going to wait for that first. Don't do too many things at the same time, step by step. And then I'm going to request the transition at 3,000 feet. Ontario. First do a cold call first. So just say Ontario, SoCal approach. Here we are. Just north of San Bernardino at 3,000 feet.
PHTIM, SoCal approach.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't contact approach at all still.
PHTIM, Squawk 5364, ident.
Squawk 5364 will ident. Papa Delta Mike. That's interesting. 5364 and will ident. I didn't request flight following on the ground, so 3,000 feet already passed, by the way. Terrain in front of us. Allow the airspeed to increase. Keep our landing lights on at all times. So that means now that we are already in contact.
PHTIM, your radar contact 3 miles north of San Bernardino Airport,
Checks.
Ontario altimeter 29903.
903 and position checks. Papa Delta Mike. So what's interesting now, I guess the controller is just proactive, which is great. But that means that we don't need to do our first call yet. It seems like we were already on flight following, which I didn't request because I also didn't have a squawk code yet. So that's nice. And because we now have two-way communications, and also we got radar contact, but we got two-way communication. That means that we are now clear to transition the Ontario class airspace. And we didn't get any instructions, so we can do whatever. So this is the most easy transition that you can imagine, I guess.
I think that's what they were saying in the chat.
Yeah,
correct. So, but that's not always the case. Sometimes the controller says, well, we've Ontario, there might be other aircraft there.
Yeah.
And they say, well, just go a little bit higher. But this is the most basic.
So what are you doing now?
So now, we have set that particular radial, right?
Yeah.
To Pomona. At 246 was it, something like that. We're going to practice it with the app very, very soon. So now I'm going to catch that radial. It's actually this track. This needle represents the track that we like to catch, and we like to get that in the middle as possible, in the center.
Yeah, so we're already on the line that we drew on the map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Already flying a little bit more south to get it a little bit more on the track there. So it will very, very slowly creep in. DME is also working. 24 nautical miles. So, as planned. And the visibility is bad, but not that bad. Don't you think?
Well, it's doable.
It's doable.
I guess,
I mean,
for you.
Yeah, and you cannot rely on visuals, I guess, at all, except that they are 3 miles in front of you. I like to stick on 3,000 feet.
Yep, Scandinavian, you are absolutely right. We didn't set the clock.
Oh, no. I would like to make an emote, I guess, of a clock, but then a... Commander, thanks for following. But then an animated clock with eyes and a smiley, like an ignored person, I guess.
So when do we need to do the part 7 of the checklist, the cruise part?
In just a sec. Just a sec. I'm now catching that radial, so we're now exactly on the radial, right? Exactly in the middle. So now I'm flying 246 or 247 at 3,000. Okay, cruise check, please.
Okay. Lights off. Landing.
Well, keep those on because we've got bad visibility. Okay.
Okay. Heading indicated compass.
Again, double check. 24. Seems good to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yep. Throttle set for 100 knots.
100 knots. We are around 100 knots. Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mixture lean for max EGT?
Yeah, so here you got an EGT that you don't know about this. This is actually the temperature of the exhaust gas temperature, EGT.
Yeah.
And this needle should be very, very high up.
Okay.
And we can do that by leaning. Now look, if I lean the mixture, look at that needle of the EGT. You can see it rise?
Yeah.
You can also see the fuel flow at the right side.
Yeah.
Because this is the blood flow, right? And this
Yeah.
indication, this thing shows the blood flow of the airplane. So you can see the temperature is now much higher, and that's much better for the
Okay.
engine. So that's what you need to do. Okay. Yep.
And what's then maximum?
Well, you can just look. If I keep pulling on that mixture, look at that EGT. Oh, you guys can see. Look at that EGT. Look, I keep pushing or pulling. You can see it now is decreasing again.
Oh yes, so there's
that
some
means
kind of
that
optimum.
yeah, right. So now I'm pushing in again.
20 left, clear for the option.
Navigation. Think ahead.
So think ahead.
For Papa leaving Los Angeles Bravo Airspace.
What do we need to think ahead of? We're flying now towards the VOR.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm still not sure when we know that we pass it.
Yeah. Now, well, we've got the DME here. Still says 90 nautical
yeah.
miles, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you overfly the VOR, if you don't have a GPS, then this thing will flip over to from.
Okay. Yeah. So
that's very, very basic as well. So you know.
But isn't that only the case when it has that distance?
Caravan 172
no.
Torrance Tower
Always
on
this thing has a
course
to
approved.
and a from flip.
Early frequency change approved when 160 at 4, runway 29 right cliff.
And maybe we also need to think about contacting what the frequency is for our next airport.
Good. What next frequency do we need?
Of where are we going? El Mundo?
El Mundo. San
like
Gabriel.
San Gabriel.
Yeah. So please do.
No, 172,
sorry,
yes,
sorry,
but
sorry,
do not expect that every single time. Sometimes they'll just give you a takeoff clearance, and that
Thanks
case
for the
you are
follow,
responsible
Jap.
to make sure you're
Thanks.
outside
Welcome
the,
on board.
airspace prior to changing frequency.
San Gabriel.
No problem. There's a 421 Juliet Whiskey on departure flight heading, on departure flight runway heading. Maintain view throttle at 1,500 till advised. Departure frequency 120.5.
You're setting the tower now, right?
3701.
Good.
Point 2.
Meanwhile, I'm tracking that VOR to Pomona.
There's a 1 Juliet
So
Whiskey
are there any other things
3701.
we need to do navigation
Good
wise?
question. Well, not navigation-wise, but communication-wise, we still need to do one more thing. There are two things that you need to know from a Delta airport before you arrive. The tower frequency, ATIS.
Yeah, but that's the next point on the
Oh, that's the next one on the checklist. Sorry. sorry.
I'm really strict on the list.
Yep, and that's good.
8 is 118.
There's a 1 Juliet Whiskey, back
5.
Sky 2344 Papa Silk Approach John Wayne, altimeter 299.
So we can already listen, right?
Yep, good.
Miles Square Park.
Switch. Let's listen.
Belmonte Information Sierra.
Sierra, good.
900 Zulu weather. Wind calm.
Wind calm.
Visibility 7.
Visibility 7 is improving.
Clear.
Sky clear.
Temperature 23.
Good. That's enough.
Okay.
So Sierra. We need to remember that, right? Sierra.
And the arrival route. Is it route or route?
I don't know if it's route or route. Guys, do you say route or route in American English?
Route is option A and route is option B. Otherwise, they can't speak.
They can't speak. Well, I don't know. They should find a way to describe that. Well, it doesn't really matter. Let's say route.
Okay. And then we have arrival route.
Route. Yeah.
Brief.
So what
is that taxi diagram or?
No, that's also how we're gonna fly into the airport. So what would you expect? What do you think? What would happen? Just rehearse our arrival. So not the taxi bit, but just the arrival on its own.
So.
For Mike Romeo says either one is correct. It's regional. Definitely route or route. Nice. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
What are the considerations for arrival?
Because if we're going in this direction, we're... Yeah, I don't know. Let's look at the weather. That's always a good place to start.
Yeah.
There's a wind.
Why? Why do we need to look at the weather?
Because we will probably get the instruction to get the runway that's in opposite to the
headwind.
Yeah. So the wind is blowing towards the 230 degrees, or is it coming from?
Coming from.
Yeah, because we need to.
Right.
That's a 421 Juliet Whiskey.
So we would need
Settle
runway
25,
23 or
taxi
something
Bravo,
like that.
Alpha
Good.
Golf.
So what runway would you expect us, or would you expect the tower to assign to us based on the winds?
That's one Juliet Whiskey. Just confirm you are running VFR weather.
What did I say?
Thank you. Or 31 Bravo, runway 2 to the left, clear for the option.
Yeah. I would think runway 19.
19 it is. Okay. And then, okay, so you know now the runway. What's the next thing then that you need to consider? Or what you could rehearse?
The elevation, so see how far you need to descend.
Camera 1072,
that
Hawthorne.
One step
Tower.
before, yeah, one step
Squawk
before that. It has to do with
3443.
altitudes.
Remain outside Los Angeles
The
Bravo
traffic pattern
airspace at all
altitude.
times.
Because that differs.
Report
differs
south
from
of
airport to airport.
Hawthorne.
And it's
Established
usually
in
1,000 feet above airport
VFR
elevation.
2,500.
Usually.
Yeah.
But you can also look it up by just stepping the airport.
Yeah.
And on the first window you'll see, just below the bold title,
Yeah.
you will see something that says traffic pattern or pattern altitude or
Yeah.
TPA. Well, what does it say?
1295.
Caravan 972.
95, so
report
1,300
established
feet.
mini route south of
Yeah.
Hawthorne.
Good, that's good to remind. About 1,300,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, good. So we know the kind of runway that we're going to expect. We know the traffic pattern altitude, and there's one last
with
thing,
the uniform contact Oakland Center 128.7.
and that's the
wonderful
traffic
rest of your
pattern
day.
flow. What do we have, left hand or right hand?
That is right hand.
Right hand. And what does that mean in terms of our flight? We already talked about this, but let's see if you remembered or can still reason.
So
Is that beneficial to us or
No.
not? Why?
well,
It's very hard to transpose
Camera
that stuff on
1972,
the map.
thank you.
But it's-
Contact Los Angeles Helicopters 119.8.
no, because we would need to make a left turn to get on runway based on our current.
good. So we would rather like to have a left hand,
Yeah.
right? But we get a right hand.
So then we would need to cross the airport and then make the right turn.
Good. Which is not what we like. So perhaps the controller knows about this and will tell to us, well, let's just do a right hand. Good.
Camera 1072, Los Angeles Helicopters.
Very good.
Identity altitude.
So guys, what do you think? How's Tim doing with his CAT rating? Is he going to pass?
Caravan 172,
Am I
your
going
radar
to
contact
pass?
13 to Los
In this
Angeles Bravo
awful
airspace
weather.
within minimum
Well, with your
VFR
great help.
2,500,
It's really nice.
altimeter
No, I
293.
really enjoy it. I love teaching you about this. And you're so quick with all this stuff. It's really complex. And again, you're learning too much at the same time.
Avnak has very great criterion. He didn't crash.
That's
So
299.
That's
good.
a good criterion,
That's the
Avnek.
first step. Wow, 40 souls on board.
40, nice.
Great as always.
Or
Thank you. I think he's
2344
doing
Papa,
great as
contact
well.
runway tower 119.9er.
We think you've got it in the bag.
Okay. Second in
Yeah.
command, I've got a question for you.
Yes.
Why do we need to be very careful about our altitude right now or in the next few minutes? Why do
Ooh,
we
I
need to
know
stick
that.
at 3,000
I know
feet?
that.
Why?
Yep. Because we are close the Pomona beacon.
Yeah, and that means?
And that means that we're crossing the Delta airport.
Of what airport?
Bracket?
Bracket.
Yeah.
Good.
And that
what?
means that if we go below 2,700 feet,
There are
we need to
2344
contact
Papa,
the tower.
Charlie Tower.
And we don't want
Center
that
right base,
because we
runway
want to
20 right, report
cruise our
established
own way.
final.
Yep.
Good. So you can see that it is only about a few hundred feet
Caravan
here.
172, leaving
Yeah.
Los Angeles Bravo airspace.
But that's why we need to be very...
Cancel.
Yeah.
Correction. Radar services terminated. Contact Santa Monica Tower 120.1.
Yeah, we're almost at our beacon.
Good. Nice. You can see.
Caravan
We can
172,
just see what
affirmative.
happens. What beacon do we need? What what radial do we need to fly then, after we passed Pomona? What direction do we need to go to?
Same, but then
Same? Is it the
from
same?
yeah, it was
Well,
kind of a straight line.
you can use the ruler. What course do we need to fly from Pomona to
Caravan 1972 Santa Monica Tower.
right from the beacon
Altimeter
to
2993. North
San
of
Gabriel?
Santa Monica. Resume on navigation. Inappropriate vehicle altitudes. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved.
275 degrees.
75 or 57?
57.
57.
Yeah.
Good. So what I'm going to do here is just set the radial here to 57. Do you get that? Why we need to do that? Nope. I'm going to practice that with you. I will show that app also to the viewers because it's a little bit complex, but initially it seems complex.
Number 31 Bravo, runway 20
By
left.
the way,
cleared
it will take us
for
about
the
7
option.
minutes.
Good. Set the
Traffic
clock.
So let's
right
set the
base
clock.
to final for the parallel
Clock
of
is
Skyhawk
set.
reporting
Good
type.
one. Only that makes you invaluable to this
Yeah.
flight.
Clock, yes, have an egg. Thanks.
Sky 44 Papa, traffic. Stand by.
Now look at this.
Yeah.
This
Sky
one will
44
flip.
Papa, traffic at Comanche.
0
Yeah.
nautical miles.
Leveling
Let's just have a look.
wings. Looks like he's
Yeah,
just
Bowie,
cleared the
Mirage,
final
thanks
the
for
parallel
following.
and
Welcome
20
aboard.
left report inside.
Have a look. You will see it flip very, very soon.
3.
2, 1. I don't know.
Sky 44
Two.
Papa, thank you.
Well, okay.
So that means that we're now actually
331 Bravo,
above, and you can
20
see
left
now that the
cleared,
distance
Yeah.
is. Why did the DME the distance? Why did it not hit 0? Why did it already start to count up at around 0.2?
I have no idea.
Really? Oh, better weather. Good. Because the distance above the beacon is still our height. It's still our altitude.
Ah.
The beacon is on the ground.
So
okay.
if we were flying an airliner, it would say 1
runway
nautical
25
mile
for
or 2
takeoff.
nautical miles.
Okay.
It's just a silly question, but it's nice to think about it.
So why did you?
Thanks for the follow, Wolves.
So why did you had to change the? Oh. Yeah. Okay.
But darling of darlings, airspace is coming up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're already within 10 minutes.
1972 Van Nuys Tower, thanks
We
for
already
Tango,
what?
and a right, downwind, runway 16 right,
Oh.
report midfield.
We are already within the 10 minutes. Oh, what? It was not 10 minutes. It was
Caravan
10.
1972 and a right,
10
downwind,
nautical miles.
runway
Good.
16 right, report midfield.
It was 12.
Caravan 1972, the only runways here is runway 16 and 34. Runway 16, report field depth. Correction,
Yeah, so
report
it's about
right
now. We
midfield
need to
Around
downwind,
now.
runway
So, what are we going to
16
do? The
right.
contacts. That's tower?
Yep.
Runway 16.
We are still with that we're still with that
Oh,
controller,
yeah,
so we
we
need to
need
say to
to-
the controller
yeah.
we're going to switch. Because otherwise, he doesn't know, or she doesn't know.
We're lost. Yeah.
Sokol approach, Kijk Papa Delta Tango and your mic. We already are nearby our destination airport. Can we switch frequencies to tower?
PHTIM. Squawk VFR, contact on Money Tower 121.2. See ya.
Squawk VFR, and we'll switch frequencies. Thanks for the help, Papa Delta Tango. Good.
There's a 1 Julie Whiskey, contact.
Squawk
Santa Barbara
1200.
departure,
Good.
You are radar
Yep.
contact.
Switch. Perfect.
Contact
ATIS was still,
departure,
what was the
1
weather
Julie.
information?
Shara.
Shara, good.
Bravo, taxi to
Landing
runway
lights are
Alpha,
on.
minus frequency.
We should now do the arrival, actually. The
Taxi
arrival
via
part of that.
Alpha, made this frequency
Yep.
31.
Lights on. Landing.
Sky
Lights
Purple,
are
Papa,
on.
taxi to parking via
Mixture
Bravo,
full in.
minus frequency,
Mixture
good
full
day.
in. Good.
Communication radio
Bravo,
set.
minus frequency.
Communications radio, are they set?
Nope. Well, do we need to contact ground?
Well, you
at
can
some
already set
point?
the standby to
Do we need to contact it at one point? Yeah.
well, ground. We need ground when we have landed, right?
But it's a 14
Thanks for the follow, Neo.
restriction.
Welcome on board.
Okay. Yep. Audio panel ATIS.
ATIS. So we have a listen again or
yeah.
not?
Yeah, we can.
El Monte Information Tango.
Tango.
2000 Zulu weather.
It's changed.
Wind calm.
Wind calm.
Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 23.
Good. Good flying weather. Okay, so Tango. Okay.
And the heading bug set
Heading bug set to what?
to 19.
19.
Well,
we're gonna expect.
119.
Yeah, we're gonna 100. Good. And that is
Arrow 443
around here.
Echo,
Good.
contact Los Angeles Center 134.65.
Anything else?
Yeah, we need to contact the
Tower. How high do we need to? What altitude do we need to descend right
It
now?
is a
I'm
window
already
listing
descending, but did
navigation.
you know? What?
Bonanza 1 Juliet Whiskey, resume on
Oh yeah, that was
navigation.
yeah. Wait, that was the 1295.
1200. Good. Yes. Thanks for the follow, guys. RUAP. Thanks. Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna contact.
Do you see the airport already, or?
No, I'm cheating a bit because I know you would take some time to prepare. So I can see that here the airport is. We're outside of the delta still, so that's why I'm turning a little bit to the right. The airport should be to the left here, and I don't see it yet.
Arrow
So
446 Echo, Los
how-
Angeles Center, Daggett,
How
altimeter
are we doing with our
289.
clock?
Well, the clock is still pointing to 5 minutes right now.
So it would take at least 2.
It would
Because it was about 7
So that's
minutes.
true. I'm already flying a little bit slower. So perhaps that would take a little bit more time on the clock, right? If we go
Yeah.
slower. Yep. Okay, so we are about northeast of the
Tower,
airport
Cessna
right now.
44 Papa.
2,500, and we've got Tango.
Cessna
That was the
44 Papa.
weather, right? Okay, so have a listen with
Just
me,
wondering if
and
you
get the scratch pad going. Let's see if you can write down what the tower is telling us when we're gonna arrive.
2344 Papa,
Yep.
according to the previous
ready?
controller
Yep,
you had it
but
made and you
you're
mentioned
too
that you
high,
wanted
right?
it for the CAT-10.
I'm still too high, but I'm
Um,
descending, so I can
you
still
confirm you
take
did
some time.
complete the first leg?
Affirm, yes, I did complete the first leg, and I was under the impression that I did request a CAT-10.
No, 2344 Papa, Roger. In that case, I have no trouble passing you. You're definitely a pass on the second
think I can
leg,
see
and
it.
if you got a okay for the first leg, then that'll complete the CAT-10. Good job.
Yeah, there it is. You see
Thanks
the
very
tower.
much.
Oh, yeah.
Good day.
San Gabriel Tower, Sky Papa Delta Tango. Your mic is 7 miles or so north of the northeast of the airport, currently at 2,300 and descending to traffic pattern altitude inbound with Tango. Full stop.
PHTIM, El Monte Tower. Make sure to remember we want to report 3 mile final.
Straight in 19 and report 1 mile final. Papa Delta Tango.
PHTIM, that's 3 mile final, please.
Caravan 197 to report me to.
Report 3 miles for Papa Delta Tango. Your mic final.
Caravan 172, thank you.
Okay.
Runway 16 right,
3
clear
miles.
to land. Wind
What did she
variable
say?
at 4.
She said runway 19,
Good.
which was what we expected,
Good.
and report 3 mile before final.
On final, 3 mile
final,
final. That's
yeah.
what she said. Yeah, good. And why did she request for that?
Yeah, so that she remembers that we are
That we are there.
there.
Good.
Okay.
All right, I can see the airport over there. Good. Okay. So straight in, she asked. Well, that's very basic. So there's, she could also say enter left crosswind or left downwind
Yeah.
or right downwind, or so you need to. There, that's why you need to prepare
Yeah.
that stuff so you know. Okay, where am I coming from and how do I get down?
So we didn't have to do the right wind thing that we should do in the airport airfield.
Well, not should do. The controller can tell us whatever.
Yeah, but
Thanks for the
it's
follow.
not the same as
Flip.
what was on the map.
No, because the tower can accommodate our arrival, and they can just say, "Well, you're almost straight in, so just go."
And why do they? What's like the parameters to make such a decision? Is
Well-
it only like how many planes there are, so that it's easier to have a certain flow in the?
Very good. Yep.
Or
that's part of it. It's also where we are. So
Yeah.
that instruction would favor our current position because we were already kind of like in front of the runway, right?
Mhm.
Other one that you also mentioned was winds. What are the winds doing? On what runway we need to
Yeah.
kind of land, and that also determines
Yeah.
then the traffic,
Okay.
the traffic flow.
So how do we know that we're 3 miles downwind, or 3
final,
miles
huh?
on final?
Final. Well, it's a little bit of a guess. We could do it right now.
So what? How far would this be?
4, 3, I don't know. It doesn't really matter that much. It's just that we're in front of that.
Okay.
I will talk with the tower right now. San Gabriel Tower, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike is 3 miles final. 1 notch of flap. Three red I can see. Don't hear anyone. San Gabriel Tower, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike is on a 3 mile final. We'll stop.
PHTAM, wind 2205, runway 19 clear to land.
Clear land 19, Papa Delta Tango Mike.
421 Julie Whiskey, radar contact lost.
So the 3 or 4 miles or 2 miles doesn't really matter that much. I mean, the difference between a 1 mile report and a 3 mile does make a difference because she likes to have some time to accommodate perhaps a departing aircraft or someone who's coming inbound. It's kind of like a general kind of a 3 mile. Thanks for following, Tandy. Thank you guys for all the follows. Much appreciated. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so we now can focus on the landing, but we can already think ahead, right? We need to switch to ground before we are departing the runway. Do we know how we need to taxi?
She didn't say anything about that.
Oh, you already prepared to taxi. Oh, that was our great. That was what I was suggesting, to already grab the taxi diagram so we are prepared. But you already did. Great.
I am your second in command.
Oh,
right?
and
I
you
should
are.
know this stuff.
Good.
Kind of risky, those high buildings right in front of the runway.
I totally agree. Well, we've got nice weather and good visibility here. That's great. So that's also part of our weather planning here. Now we cannot land on the arrows here. That's can only be used for takeoff. So I'm steering a little bit up here. We have a curve there in the runway. As you can see, a bump.
Proud airplane.
Right.
Yeah.
And there we are. Can you turn up the flaps, please? Flaps up.
Thank you, no pizza, no glory.
What did he say?
He said we might still survive. Glad somebody knows their stuff.
Nice.
But you're
One noise tower, Caravan
exiting quite
fast.
I did. Get as quick off the runway as possible.
PHTIM, taxi to Barker via Alpha, remain this frequency, and it's a pass for the CAT-07.
Thanks for the pass. We'll taxi to parking. Okay.
Woohoo!
Great.
Correction, Caravan 197.
Thank you for the help.
Taxi to Barker via Alpha, remain this
well,
frequency,
you did.
And that's a good
CAT-7,
start
guys.
for practice.
Yeah.
Ha! Getting closer to my
Alpha,
certification as an uncertified pilot in PPL terms. What's our checklist? First our checklist. What do we need to after
Okay. Lights off, strobe landing.
Strobe and landing off.
Parking brake set.
Parking brakes are set now.
Throttle set to 1000 RPM.
Why do we need to do that? Do you still remember why we need to do that?
Yeah, because otherwise the battery is going down.
Good, and also the engine keeps a bit warm.
Yeah.
It's like jogging on the same position before you do a run, right?
Mixture lean.
Lean just a bit, good.
Flaps verify up, we already did that.
Good.
And talk to the tower that you're cleared of the runway.
Did we already do that?
Nope. Yeah, well, she did it by herself. Okay.
Right, she was proactive.
So we can change our.
Do you remember what she said? Perhaps not.
Yeah, taxi via Alpha.
Yeah, but she also said monitor this frequency. So we can just stay on tower. That's usually the case on PilotEdge. It can also happen in the real world, so we can just stay. So you're totally right with the checklist flow, but in this case we can just stick with tower because it's just easy.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So now we taxi via Alpha.
Good. Where do you like us to taxi?
Yeah.
Do you see a spot that would be
here
for
with
us?
all the
with all the Cessnas. Right.
Cessna.
Very good. We don't need to do a refuel, I guess. How much fuel do we still have? Well, the magical 15 gallons in each tank. I can see a beautiful spot here just in front. Do you like to park anywhere, or can I just pick one?
No, you can just pick one.
All right. This is with a nice view. It's a cool airplane in front of us. Seems like we're going to hit with our wings the wingtips of those other aircraft, but let's just ignore that.
Is the GA parking like at the hangars on the chart?
The main wheels should be on this line.
Cannot see what
something like this. All right.
Very good. Okay.
And then
so we have the shutdown routine.
the shutdown routine.
Avionics off.
Avionics off.
Parking brake set.
Parking brakes are set.
Mixture aft.
Mixture aft.
Magnetos off.
Magnetos off.
Batteries off.
Batteries off.
Lights off.
Lights are off.
Seatbelt release.
Seatbelt released.
PilotEdge disconnect.
And PilotEdge.
And you have your CAT-07 rating.
Oh yeah. Nice.
That's very good.
Did you learn something during this
Well,
flight?
I learned a lot. Yeah.
What sticks in your mind? What were the things you thought, well, that was...
Yes, what did I learn? Again, the importance of clock setting.
The clock setting, yeah. Well, yeah, it is
was
important.
not that necessary maybe for this flight, but okay. Yeah, I think a lot of things on the map, like the procedure, what kind of things you need to set. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the flow of things, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, good. But you were very considerate also of airspace. And there is a flow coming. It's really great. And again, this should require proper ground school. You're doing this on the fly. So
but
again,
it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, it's okay.
I have
very
a good teacher,
We're
right?
proud of you. It's very, very good. Nice. Yeah, I think you did great. And again, learning about how to read those sectionals is so awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's a really nice addition to flying even in a flight sim.
But
Thank
it's
you guys.
also nice to see you handle the trim wheel and see how you do all the things like the
right.
fine tuning and
right. Yeah, I can imagine that is also informative.
Yeah.
On the other side, just to see whatever is going.
So I liked it. I like this flight.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, me too. Thank you guys for all the congrats and thank you for being here. It's very, very nice. All right, so let's have a look at the landing, as always, right? And also just the entire flight. The recording first. There we were, coming inbound. Yep. Shift 4. All right. That was our track. And let's have a look quickly. There we went. All the way from San Bernardino, crossing that airspace. Thank you, GM Gonzel. Thank you for jumping aboard here. You can see, there was our takeoff. You can see there.
Yeah.
That's where we took off. We went up north to gain some time, get us some time to contact approach. And then we just had contact and we can do whatever. We didn't get any instructions to go northbound or southbound on our particular altitude. So that was very, very easy. Good that we figured out with the VOR. That helped with the weather. And the weather improved suddenly around here, which was great. Look at this scenery. It's so beautiful. Look at all those trails here.
Well, Scandinavian, I think I will whisper in his ear, clocks, set your clocks when he's asleep. I think that might do the trick.
Yeah, I should dedicate that emote to a clock because that's my phrase, I guess. But I don't think it's
it's
nice...
the phrase of the audience. You don't think about the clocks.
No, really. It's something that should, yeah. But still, I'd like to have my first emote to be more cheerful. But I don't know.
I think it should be about a checklist or something like check the procedures.
Yeah.
Because you're really about the structural approach and something fun
or
with that.
the mindset, the growth mind, the learning bit, the uncertified
well.
bit. That's the spirit of the channel. I totally missed out on the landing. That sounds good. Okay. Let's bump a little bit forward in time. There we came. Were we crabbed? No, not at all, because we had winds calm. That was good. And there we go. You can see a little bit of a curve there in the runway.
Yeah.
Okay, proud nose. Up, main wheels first. Good. Could have a little bit more of a flare. A little bit more of a flare.
A flare is even more proud?
No, it's just keeping on altitude just a little bit longer here. So I was descending, and it's I find it's even more nice if you just stick very closely to the runway and then allow the airplane to land itself. I was actually still flying the airplane into the runway, even though it was sullen. It's just fine, but it's nice to
yeah. So I hear you talk about crabbing. Did we do that here?
Well, do you know still what it is, grabbing?
Yeah, it's that you.
What is it? What does it mean?
Yeah, how do you explain that?
Yeah,
That you
in
go
words.
like this.
Yeah, so that you point your nose into the wind, other than the direction of where the airplane is going towards. So it's a little bit crabbed into the wind. As you can see, if you look at the direction of the airplane, it's parallel in the exact same direction as that we're going towards.
Yeah.
So it's not crabbed into the wind. If we would go like this, if this is the airplane, this is the front, and we go like so, then we are crabbed, right? Because our nose is not pointing into the direction that we're going to.
Okay.
And that's what you do to correct for wind. At least that's one of the techniques. The other one is a forward slip, and we'll talk about that. But you've already been flying with crabbed positions, by the way, on St. Louis on your own.
I did?
Yeah, you did. But you didn't know because this just comes natural to you. We are all practicing for decades to get a landing going, and you learn this stuff in 7 hours. Anything else that we'd like to see from the flight? That was the landing.
No, I like the suggestion by Scandinavian, a clock with a student hat on.
Yeah, or a smiley in the clock or something like that is jumping.
But we will keep thinking about that.
We'll keep thinking about that.
No, I think you had a very nice landing and a very nice flight. So cool to see.
I think so too. Ah, this is nice.
You just made it.
Shot. Oh yeah.
Right?
But we've got the CAT-07, guys. Ha! Next up is the CAT-8. I have actually no idea what the CAT-8 is all about. That excites me. So the next flight is going to be the CAT-8. Now I'm going through all the CAT ratings to earn that virtual flight sim based PPL, my private pilot license in flight sim. And then I'm going to do some very fun flights just to celebrate and then move on to season 2. And with season 2, I'm going to start my IFR training. That's totally new to me. I'm going to also stream my ground school study. So the PilotEdge workshops that are so informative, so educational. So I'm going to stream that as well while I'm studying. And well, you're free to join in and help me out or answer some questions that I will very probably have. And we can start developing some instrument rating here, which I'm really excited about. Also, Keith has suggested to jump into the cockpit and give some coaching, which I'm also very honored by. So it's going to be a very cool season 2 overall. But first, get that VFR rating going, my virtual PPL, and have some fun flights because I have some in store. Guys, thank you so much again for jumping aboard. Thank you for all the follows. Again, the followers are coming. Thank you so much, guys. No Pizza, No Glory. Thank you. Steeler, Scandinavian. Thank you. Captain Blackwood, GPB. Good to see you. Finally caught you. I know you've been visiting the streams before. Thank you. That's Greg, guys. GP B500 with all the nice scenery that I've been talking about at Burbank. Thank you for being here. Avanak, as always, thank you for jumping on the stream here. Lex, thank you as well. Voju, thank you. Well, there are many more people here that I should thank. For Mike Romeo, guys, thank you so much for joining me on the stream. Again, Mirai, also thank you for jumping on board.
Yes.
Thank you for the help. No, I really enjoyed it.
No problem.
And it's always nice to teach. You're making very quick progress here. Guys, happy flights, blue skies, and hoping to see you very soon. Palm Springs Tower, Skyline Hotel Tango, and your mic is 10 miles north of the airport at 3000 with information X-ray for a full stop, landing 13 left if that's available.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, so you're requesting straight up for 13.
That's available, yes please.
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 13 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC12 land call request clearance to the Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and I'll be forward standing. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538 Cresso. Join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7. Squawk 6316.
Dallas 4658 cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 277029, Palms, Victor 538, Presso 3. Initially climb 7,000 expected for 0 after 5, departure 126 sounds, close 6316 plus, which is 5.
Plus 4658, back is correct. Tag with your mic, taxi to RAM via echo on this frequency.
Taxi to the RAM. Yeah, echo. Remain on this frequency, not because I don't mind.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237 Charlie Alpha, Roger. Inner left traffic. Left downwind runway 26 left report base.
Enter left downwind for 26 left and record your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base shortly.
United 242 Jawway Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170, headwind 3.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
On the tower, Kilo 260, Kilo ILS runway 24.
Senior 520 Yankee Kilo Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11. Number 237 Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs round plus 4658 east ramp to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report the mist.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next week over
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go to right side Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to right plus 465.
Palomar Tower, near Kilo today, 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Rush taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
Number 7 Charlie Alpha, remain on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
Southbound via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
November 2903 Alpha going around.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going in?
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, Roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying the published missed approach procedure, November 2903.
Hyper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure.